You really did the cough thing whenever I asked specifically for radio silence. You dick. Alrighty. And now he's muted. Now he's fucking muted. Welcome everyone to Welcome everyone to the first episode of Tales of Starfall Pass. It is all of us. Here we are back again. For our next campaign in this magical, wonderful D&D adventure. Today is as I said, the first episode of Tales of Starfall Pass, a new little deal we're doing, and Isaac is going to be our DM. We're currently waiting on Mark to join us, but Isaac had some ideas for stuff to do in the meantime. So, with that being said, Isaac, take it away, man.
Alright. So, to get going, sorry.
You're good.
So you've all received word through various means, whether it be direct letters, bounty boards, word of mouth. There is an expedition coming out of the Silver Marches. It is meant to expand the kingdom of the Silver Marches, trying to grab as much land as possible, expand the kingdom as it is starting to. Basically, it's starting to outgrow its current walls, and they're looking to expand. However you've come into this knowledge is you're within reason. I know that I don't really have to make within reason remarks because Mark's not here. But no, but that's kind of what it's going. It's going to be an exploratory mission in which you are hired on as kind of bodyguards, but you're going to have a fair say on which path is the safest. Like, you're kind of going to be leading the expedition, and they're kind of going to be documenting it.
Right.
It's not really your hired hands, but your hired hands, if that makes sense.
Hired minds.
You're leading the fucking nerds through the wilderness. No, but
we're the executors of the expedition.
Right, that's fair.
Dude, I love that Pokemon.
That being said, the contract is coming out through Strahz Grigori, the Dragonborn leader of the Silver Marches. He has entered out this contract, basically stating that with you being the first feet on the ground, whatever you claim that isn't claimed elsewhere is yours. Like, that's your reward. You get what you get. Because, basically his way of, he's not extending any resources that he doesn't already have, so he's not going to miss it if he doesn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, I just to kind of set the scene a little bit, why don't you guys give me a little bit of background on your characters, who you're playing, what you're doing, how they came into contact, and what their interest on the expedition is.
Okay, sick. So I am playing Auron Grigori the 18th, third prince of the Silver Marches, the youngest son of King Strahz Grigori the First. He is an Oath of Conquest paladin, Silver Dragonborn, lawful good. And as he is a young lad of 20, which is fresh kind of an adult for a Dragonborn, he is currently in training as a paladin, not officially knighted, but a little more than a squire, in the Church of Bahamut. It's typically tradition to give the third son of the royal family to the church for training in any which way, cleric, paladin, whatever, and leading the expedition, or taking part in leading it, not to take spotlight here, is his final knightly challenge, his final trial, as it were. And if he succeeds in bringing back things of worth, knowledge, or land of use to the kingdom, then that's it. He's Sir Auron, and he has all the rights and privileges of such, brings honor and stuff to his family, and looks good in the eyes of his lordly father and his two older brothers.
Right on.
And I am playing Deanna Nordstring, heir and daughter of the the owner and leader of the bank for this capital that we're running this campaign for, Rowan Nordstrom, and I have been sent out on this mission kind of as a kind of as the eyes and the ears of the bank. You know, they've funded this expedition. They're paying for people to travel out here and kind of helping out the kingdom on a good faith that their investment will be returned, you know, to a larger degree. So, as the prestigious daughter of the head of the bank, this is kind of my first chance to really kind of sink my hands into something major. You know, the family itself holds a lot of a lot of power, but being on the younger side, Deanna hasn't done a whole lot herself to make her own name within the group. Um, so she's kind of set out on with this main goal of just bringing back as much wealth as possible and making sure that this comes off as a huge overarching success.
Right on.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna say I'm altering things just a little bit since we don't have marks. So some of it am kind of adjusting a little bit. So I might have to. It might sound like I'm taking a second, but
That's cool. Do you want me like at least like give a broad overview of who Mark is? I mean, you know, he'll be able to like do a full intro in his own words, but you know.
Yeah, we could do that. That's fine.
Yeah, Mark is going to play Seamus. He is a human, right? Yeah, I think human. He is a human fighter rogue, and what was I gonna say?
Hold on. Oh, he just texted me. He's playing a Dragonborn Paladin.
Oh, fuck off. He's playing a human fighter rogue whose name is Seamus. I believe it was Seamus McFinnigan or something like that. It's like something exceedingly Irish. He's from Fantasy, not Ireland, and he's there to inherit. Or he inherited his dad's. Let's see. Oh man, what was it? He told us what exactly he was doing.
That was a potato farm.
Yeah, it was something about a potato farm. I think he's like scouting out new land for a potato farm since he inherited it or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So it's Seamus O'Malley is what it was. Here it is. I have returned from the war on Northern Ireland. I mean, not Northern Ireland, to take over my dying father's potato farm. I think that might have been a joke because I don't know how that plops him into an expedition. But hey, Seamus is going to be here.
Can we just call it Nireland?
Nireland. Narland. Narlands. Narlands.
Narland.
It's just New Orleans now.
Nauterland.
Nauterlands. The lost sunken city of Nolans. And Josh, your character is a death cleric, yep?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, so we've got a death cleric, we've got a conquest paladin, we've got a fighter rogue, who's gonna be, I think he's like Eldritch Knight, Arcane Trickster he wants to be, so we're gonna be a little weird, and I like it.
Yeah, we're gonna get a little weird with it.
Hell yeah.
So just to throw in a little more role play before we get into the meat and bone campaign, since we don't have Mark, I'm gonna give you guys, let's say, I don't know if it needs to be like a day or so, but we're gonna say that you guys have a day or two, something like that, to kind of get your last things in order, visit any acquaintances that you would need to do loose ties with, if you need to address with your superiors, anything of that nature. Just kind of what are you doing in the days leading up to your expedition.
Mm-hmm. Josh, you want to take this one first since I went first for the introductions?
Yeah, sure. So Deanna is going to take some time to kind of do some ritual stuff for her god. Really kind of invoke or try to invoke some good faith and a will going into this journey. Asked for help and protection in her goals, both long term and short term. Um, and it kind of, you know, reaffirm her kind of secret plans that she has going forward with herself. Uh, you know, um, and then double check with her father and everything to make sure that she knows exactly what she's supposed to be doing. Uh, Kind of, and then just get to bed early to get plenty of rest.
Okay. Um, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, yeah. Makes sense. Okay. And if there's any that you guys want to play out and role play, just let me know and I can knock that out. But that's pretty straightforward. I'm cool with that.
All right, sick. Well, barring that, Auron will, before departing, has to seek out the blessing of not only his knightly mentor, whoever that is, because I didn't come up with a persona of that guy, but also, obviously, of his father, the king, which should be the primary thing he does before he scoots out. So, approach the throne, kneel before him, seek his blessing, that kind of stuff. Very, very formal event as like a send off for the kingdom, since this is one of their princes they're sending off.
Okay. So as you're doing that, and as you're giving a more formal send off, you have siblings, relatives, and most of the court with you for the formal send off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's as to be expected. I mean, you got some music playing in the background. You got lords and ladies of various natures presenting the royal family with gifts of good tidings, so on and so forth. And nothing really out of the ordinary. It's just kind of traditional ceremony and for sending off for a request of this nature. As the room starts to clear out, lords and ladies are all out first, being the lower in this room, followed by some of the other higher officials, until it's basically just your family and then a couple guards, and family starts to disperse a little bit, and your father actually misses the guards until it is just you and your father.
Oh shit!
And he approaches you, just to kind of get this going. What is the demeanor of your father? What's your relationship with him?
Strahz is as one of the more. I always kind of pictured him as more of one of the more expansionist kings. So he's he's very stern and he's very commanding with his bearing, and but it's it does not belie that he loves his sons, you know what I mean? But he's very strict with them. He's very firm-handed.
Okay. So he approaches you and he says, "Auron, this day has been a long time coming, and I know that you do not have. It is not a secret to you the severity of the nature and why this is important to not only you but the kingdom themselves. That being said, and there'll be more on the actual send off of the expedition, but I do have some things to kind of help you out in this journey that benefits the kingdom. It's not, I wouldn't necessarily treat them as gifts, but they are the
You're kind of cutting out a little bit.
So he's saying it's necessary to the quest themselves for the benefit of the kingdom.
Got it.
I want to make sure you're equipped with.
Okay.
So he takes your hand, and is it fair to assume that you have a signet ring, something like that, adorned as?
Yeah.
Adorned as?
Yeah, it's a signet ring with the symbol of House Grigori. It's a war pick. It's basically just a war pick on on gray ring. Yeah, it's like a silver ring.
Okay. And he takes the signet, and he actually pops out the family crest and replaces it with another that he reveals to you is a direct sending stone to the throne itself.
Oh, sick.
That way, and he says, as you go through your endeavor, this will provide you a direct line of contact. Should you encounter anything that you're over your head on, I can send what help we can. And if there's any pertinent information or decisions to be made or counsel to be had, you have a direct line to the highest authority.
Okay. I don't have a voice or an accent pinned down for Auron yet. I was kind of gonna let the campaign take its stride on that before I decide that, but in as princely of a manner as possible, he would oh, don't you stick your tongue at me. Yeah, he'll take this gift and he'll bow courteously before his Lord Father, and he's like, I accept your gift with the utmost pride and dignity, Father, and I will use it to bring glory to our home. Yeah, I don't know if you heard that.
That's good.
Yeah, Emily's like that.
Howdy.
So with that, he sends you on your way to rest up for the night.
Mm-hmm.
And you all know that the expedition's trying to get as much daylight as possible on day one. So it's going to be an early morning for y'all.
Got it. All right, let me go ahead and migrate servers real quick for the channel because it is starting to kind of bug me with how it's cutting out because it wasn't just you either.
Okay.
Cha-cha-cha. I always forget how to do this. Let's do... I wish I could do like U.S. North or something, but unfortunately that is not a thing. So we can have it like closer to your ass up in North Dakota. All right, cool. All right, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's something.
He would also like seek a... Aha! Is that who I spy?
Yeah.
Good evening, my dear sir. So basically, we all we really did was like some introductory shit. We are introducing our characters, who they are, what they are, and the reason for coming on the voyage and everything. Hello, Mark. Hope all is well. Would you like to do that, or would you like to, do something else? Or you want to slide right into it?
Let's just go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you are playing Seamus. You want to tell us a little bit about Seamus and why he's coming on our expedition?
We guys went and got back from the war against Fantasy Northern Ireland.
Okay, so we really are going with that. Good.
Yeah. His father was dying, and so he's taking over the potato farm.
Okay. And how does that bring him into the expedition? Is he like claiming new land for the potato farm?
You ever put a soldier in like a 9-to-5 job?
So he's just getting away from it all?
Pretty much.
I love it.
Okay. Yeah, and basically what we did, they just kind of went through the day before the expedition, just kind of saying how they wrapped up and we're getting ready. If you have anything for that, go ahead. Otherwise, we're gonna wake up and have
somebody backing a truck right now.
That's a microwave.
No, we got popcorn, man. But yeah, if you got anything the day or night before, we can run that. Otherwise, we were just about to hit daybreak for day one of the expedition.
I think I'm good.
Okay. Cool.
Did I ever send you my character sheet, by the way?
I trust you.
Okay.
I probably shouldn't, but I do.
Yeah, big mistake.
That's alright. I screenshot the stats to you guys, so.
Yeah. Unfortunately, if I trust Tyler and Josh, I should trust you. In theory, so.
I'm too tired to try anything.
Poor decision, truly.
You should be fine. I'm too tired to try anything. So.
All right.
No.
I get up every morning at 6 o'clock, and then I don't get home till 6:45, and I don't go to bed till 12.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah,
That's
and
not right.
there's just no sitting down. So.
Yep.
I don't even know what the day is.
It's Tuesday-ish.
It's Tuesday, my dude. But all right. So you guys all wake up, hopefully, and know that the expedition is departing from. Basically, you guys are getting a pretty big send-off. Like, this is a pretty big deal for the kingdom. So you guys are starting basically at the palace gate and making your way through the kingdom outside the city. You guys are getting the works for the send-off.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, if there's anything that you guys need to do prior to making it to the palace gates, feel free. Otherwise, just kind of give me a setup for in which you arrive.
I mean, I assume we're already kind of provisioned and everything.
Yep, everything. I mean, this is well outfitted. I mean, you guys are running a full caravan.
Right.
You guys are really the only hands worthwhile as far as like dealing with problems. But I mean, you guys are traveling with various cartographers and field experts of the kingdom for the sake of gathering as much information and land as possible.
Got
but
it.
It's pretty well outfitted. I mean, if there's anything in particular you think you'll need, 9 times out of 10 it's probably there. But if there's anything like off the wall, yeah, sure, run it by me. We can make it work.
Nah, I think Auron would like make a send off speech. Being the face of the expedition, I guess, if that's not assuming too boldly of me. But besides that, it is all Gucci.
Okay.
So, Deanna's gonna show up like 15 minutes late. Not necessarily because, she didn't wake up on time or she wasn't ready or anything, but just because to show people that her time is more important than theirs.
Jesus Christ! All right.
That's very possible. I mean, this thing, even though you guys know that you want as much daylight as possible, it's pretty common knowledge that having a festival of sorts or a big send-off is good for business. So, I mean, you guys are basically at parade speed getting out of the city. So,
and it's very much fashionably late.
Gonna show up. Yeah, Deanna's gonna show up just late enough that it's not like unacceptable, but but not so late that she would get in trouble. And then she's essentially going to take a look at everything and just kind of huff and find a spot to sit down and write it out.
Yep. All right. Another thing to note with this expedition, you were all granted a basically a small bracelet. I mean, it can be worn in a number of ways. Basically, just an article of jewelry, whatever, that you're instructed actually is linked to the cartographer's map. And basically anything that you explore would be updated to the map.
Okay, I like that.
But only how you perceive it. The map can be wrong technically, so you need to get the most honest perception of your surroundings in order for the map to be true.
Well, that's fucking cool. I like that. All right, cool. Add 1 bracelet of cartography to my inventory.
I'm constantly drunk, so don't trust my stuff.
You just see random corners of the map. Like, what the fuck is that?
It's just drawn in crayon while everything else is drawn in like beautiful.
Can the map show like orcs?
I mean, in theory, if you had landmarks like orc camps and stuff, and yeah, I mean, It's basically.
No, I mean like physical orcs, because I'm so drunk that I think I'm just fighting orcs constantly.
The map glows blue
That's
in the
all I
presence of
see.
orcs.
Just orcs.
Probably not, but I mean, there could be things similar to it, but probably not. It's probably not going to include individual people on the map. You guys there? Did I cut out?
No, you're good. No, I'm set.
Okay, yeah. No, it just got a little quiet there. I thought I might have dropped.
No, you're good.
Okay.
I'm just muted so the Black Plague doesn't show up.
Yeah, Josh ain't doing too hot right now.
Gotcha. But so make it through the city, and well, you're making it through the city, and I mean, it's not hard for you to notice that this is a cash grab too. Even like there's money going everywhere for various like street vendors and various. They're making a whole ordeal out of it. Otherwise, they would have got you out of the city much faster and not wasted probably about 3 hours just getting you from point A to point B.
Okay, sick.
So you get to the Kingdom Gates, and they raise them. You get out, and the first leg of the journey is pretty straightforward because you're still in Kingdom Land. You're still, I mean, there's still the farms and the resources out there. Seamus's farm relatively close, or is it out? So is the farm up in Fantasy Northern Ireland, or is it near?
Fantasy Northern Ireland, Jesus. Keep in mind that Mark does have a fresh newborn, so
That's fair. Well, that's not really pertinent, so it's kind of one of those things that I'm trying to paint, but it's not necessarily pertinent at this second, so that's cool.
No, that's cool.
So
I would love if like the Silver Marches was just like the Fantasy UK, and like Fantasy Northern Ireland is just the part we don't talk about. Gosh.
So as you're a little bit of backgrounds going into this, just so you guys have a better understanding of what you're traveling with.
Mm-hmm.
The caravan is made up of four Oxtron carriages. There are two elf cartographers.
Okay. I'm starting to Google Docs so I can keep track of all this. So let's see. But I mean, keep going. I'm good.
Two elf cartographers.
Okay.
There is basically the equivalency of a dwarven geologist. Like, there's a dwarf that knows shit about rock. Surprise.
Yeah.
And
okay.
And you have an older stage-like guy that is very in tune with like the fauna and the flora. He knows plants and animals.
Okay, so a druid.
Yeah, basically, but without like any powers. He has the skills but no magic, basically.
Got it.
And he doesn't hit shit or transform.
Okay.
Basically, yeah, stereotypical druid, but he doesn't do druid things.
Okay.
And then you got a couple like hired hands that are a little small. Whatever. Just for the sake of having them in there, you got a couple goblins that are going to do your odd chores.
Yes.
Because what would this stream be without a little bit of goblin racism?
Good old fashioned like heavy Boston accent.
Yep. And I mean, you're able to do the math and basically see that, the number of people compared to the number of carts, more so to like. It doesn't necessarily add up. It's more so just some of the cards are going to be just supplies, basically.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a baby.
Yep.
There's a baby in the caravan.
So, as you're traveling, I'm trying to think how I want to do this. Okay. So you're given the choice, basically, to take one of two routes to get out into the actual entry to what is known as Starfall Pass. The two routes are going to be one that's a little more traveled on the main roads. You're going to hit a couple more towns this way. And I say towns very loosely. I mean basically like family farms, and like if you needed to stop and catch your breath and whatever you could, but it's not like you're going to have any resources kind of thing.
Some hamlets.
Yeah. And the other route is a little more off trodden. The path is a little fresh, a little fresher, just because it's not as well traveled.
Right.
But it's going to be like a straight shot. Either way, you're not looking at much more than like a day's journey to the pass if you make good speed. But really, it's just if there's anything along the way that needs to be done, any information that needs to be gathered about Starfall Pass, etc.
Okay, so like you think the locals would like know anything? Is what you're saying?
They're gonna know mostly. They're gonna know more about lore and the legend of Starfall Pass. They're not necessarily gonna explore it and that's pretty known. Like the reason you guys are being out on this is Starfall Pass is actually relatively new. There was prior to this there was a large the kingdom is surrounded by a large mountain range. About a month or two ago, a large meteor shower came through and actually carved out like a large enough pass, like a couple miles wide, to get through. Like before that, it was next to impossible to cross this mountain range. But this great big meteor,
very impressive meteor shower.
Oh
what?
yeah.
So that's a very impressive meteor shower. Yeah.
It's
we're
magic.
talking like we're talking. What's up?
So I'm feeding a baby, holding my phone because my character sheet's on it, and I'm trying to find a way to eat my cake.
I think you gotta give something up there, buddy.
I mean, baby's kind of first on the list of things that I'm probably gonna give up here.
Hey, a baby can't fall off of the floor. Remember that.
That is true. Hold on, I'm gonna make it work. It's gonna happen. If I scream, it's because I've spilt everything, including the baby.
Oh no! Wait.
You sure you can play D&D tonight, buddy? Like, you good?
We have to fast.
Yep. But yeah, no. So Starfall Pass was carved out relatively recently by a pretty sizable meteor shower. Like some big old rocks, like caused some tremors throughout the city. If you're going by true, like real world physics, it's not possible what happened. But
yeah, but I'm a fucking
magic.
dragon. Are you kidding me?
Magic.
I have magic, so
yeah. So that's the gist of why this is going on now, and why it's very much we've never been able to get here before. Let's get this expedition together so we can claim as much of it before anybody else can.
Got it. Okay, so yeah, I think that it would be pertinent to take the route through the most civilization. Personally speaking, we run less it's like it's carved out. Yeah, roads are developed and everything, and also less chance of outer interference from, I don't know, let's say just wild creatures. We want to maybe keep that on the DL until we get into Starfall Pass or orcs. I don't know if orcs are a threat around this area, but yeah.
Orcs are everywhere.
I think that's up to Isaac.
I'm convinced that my guy has like PTSD
from like the orc war.
From the orcs from Fantasy Northern Ireland.
I mean, yeah. God.
There's just that video of they're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
No.
Just to fuck with Mark, orcs don't even exist. Like,
no. Like,
he's just hallucinating.
Oh no, like the fucking Jesus Christ, what was it called? I'm thinking like the song "Zombie" by the Cranberries is in his head constantly, and he's like, the orcs are the IRA, just the fucking Irish Republican Army. Just oh man, oh god, if I were Irish, I would feel incredibly offended right now.
I'm Scottish, so I don't give a shit.
I thought you were Irish. Oh no, okay,
Oh, man.
all right.
IRL, I'm Scottish.
Okay, whatever. We're all white on the outside. It's fine.
Clan gun represent.
Anyway, yeah. So
this took a real racist turn, real quick.
You can't be racist towards white people. Anyway, so.
Yes, you can.
Shush. Anyway, so that's my vote, is to go through Civilization to get to Starfall Pass, even if it takes a little longer. I mean, whatever. We're going through.
My vote is no.
Would you
Get
like?
places quicker whenever you take shortcuts.
Well, it appears we have our first party conflict, doesn't it? If only we had a third member to be a tiebreaker.
I know.
Deanna's gonna poke her head out of the back of the cart and remind you that we have a job to do and that we are here for the benefit, not for whatever measly scrabble you're having. So we need to go whichever route will be most fortuitous.
I heard whichever route's the quickest.
You would do well to mind your tongue. Let's proceed forward through the quicker route then.
Alright, Isaac, so I'm going to take the quicker route, which is shortcuts and everything, and I'll meet them on the other side.
No, we're gonna take the quicker route. It's fine.
I don't even know what the quicker route is.
I'm assuming like through like, you know.
No, to be real with you guys, there wasn't really like. I'll pull back the curtain a little bit.
Okay, you said something about two routes, and that's what I was kind of.
Yeah, no.
Oh, you mean like plants?
To be honest with you, like that was more so. These two routes aren't really that different.
Okay.
It was more so to kind of give you the vibe for the campaign that you guys are going to have to make some path choices, basically.
Oh, sick. Okay. Well, I feel like we just did, even though we kind of.
This is gonna go great.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Okay, so what you're saying is there's a fork in the road, and we must go left or right.
Correct.
I go straight.
God damn it.
Are we just gonna have to kill you now? Are you really gonna be that guy? You said before we started, oh man, I'm actually gonna like play into the D&D thing. I'm gonna like get some role playing done, and now you're just gonna be this guy, just because you got a baby and some cake, man. Like, we're still playing the game, dog.
You go left or you go left or right, and you go straight. It's a pit of lava. Seamus dies. You have to roll.
No. It's a fork in the road. You can go left or right. You go straight. You run into the signpost, and you get knocked unconscious.
How about this?
Take 2 sign damage.
Straight. Instead of going straight, I pick up.
You pick up what?
The fork. There's a fork in the road.
All right.
Pick it up.
And hey, you know, before you got here, Isaac was like, you know, maybe we can get some stuff done just because like we might get sidetracked when Mark gets here. I'm gonna throw Isaac under the bus here because I absolutely agreed with him. For the record.
What? that he hates us?
No, that like absolutely as soon as you got here, it would get sidetracked because of shit like this. Oh god.
I make D&D.
Yeah, that's what he calls it. I'm gonna roll.
Baby's almost asleep, so
okay.
I'll be less distracted here in a second.
It's fine. I'm gonna roll a D2, and let's see.
You mean flip a coin?
Yeah. So my D2 is my D2 came up as heads, so we should head left.
Okay, so here's my method of choosing things. Is Fantasy North Ireland because we don't want.
It's north.
Which way are we headed?
I think we're like. I feel like journeying to the west is
Yep.
like.
West and also west.
Yep.
West by west.
If we're going west in the right.
Diana's just going to be like, would you just pick a path already? I don't really
Okay.
care.
We're gonna go.
Clarify. You are traveling.
Wait.
The path diverts slightly north and slightly for a little,
Yeah, Jesus
then it
fucking
goes-
Christ. What is with the?
and then it continues to go.
Cool. South it is.
But I thought you wanted to. Oh my god.
I do.
Perfect.
I'm going away from North Ireland.
Oh.
Instead of north, we're going to the south.
I thought you wanted to go towards it. Okay, yeah, then the left road
No,
it is.
I don't want to go back to that thing.
Yeah,
So it works that way.
Jesus fucking Christ. All right. Yeah. So yeah, I guess we are going to
On
take.
with it.
Yeah, the left road.
All
Where are
right.
you leading us? Where are we leading the way?
I mean, the cartographers are basically just glorified sightseers. They just kind of gather the information you guys gather for them and compile.
True.
They're nerds. They're all.
Hell yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So go ahead.
All right. So you head on the left path, or the more southern path. Barely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And in true Oregon Trail fashion, what is the pace in which you are traveling?
Approximately 3 miles per hour.
I don't know about all that math nerdy bullshit.
Basically, are you guys like trying to make up a bunch of time? You guys taking it at a normal pace, or you taking it easy?
Approximately 3 miles.
Anyway,
I'm not no good enough at math to know.
Yeah. So
3 miles per
for
hour
those of us who
my
are
base walking speed.
for those of us who are actually playing the video game, then here I got it's not a video game. God, you can input that in a calculator if you want, but personally speaking, normal pace to strike a good balance between expediting and also conserving energy. It's not like we're trying to get there in a rush. We don't have a time limit, do we?
Nope. Yeah, no, this is just basic. Well, okay, the time limit is before anybody else, basically.
Okay, and
But
also
you
Diana says the faster the better.
But you guys are also the closest kingdom to Starfall Pass. So if other kingdoms were to go through it, not only would they have had to gather the information from your kingdom that this pass exists, but they would also have to circumvent your kingdom to get to it. So you guys got a pretty good head start.
right. Well, I do suppose that our other time limit would be supplies and shit, or at least what we've got, or at least
Right.
what we've got before that. So yeah, no. Let's just let's keep it normal. Maybe like a little brisk, not like
Okay.
not like backbreaking, but let's get to the actual Starfall Pass.
Yeah.
So 4 miles per hour.
God damn it. Sure.
I'm just
Exactly.
going off of what my walking speed is.
We're
Okay.
we're on caravans.
We're not walking.
Yeah, no, you
No.
guys have ox. You guys have. Oh, sorry. I don't know if you caught that. You guys have 4 ox-drawn carriages.
No, I did not. I did not catch that. I was probably grabbing a baby.
That is fair.
Yeah, no, you guys have.
Okay.
You guys have 4 wagons.
6 miles per hour then.
That's neat. Sure. Fine. Just to fuck with Mark, you guys are actually going 60 miles per hour, but in this world, 60 miles is equivalent of 6 miles.
My brain hurts. Anyway, let's go there.
Too.
Making distance relevant.
Careful, or we'll get a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
The closest
Okay,
thing
let's
the closest thing we have to a cop is me. I should have been a copper dragonborn. Damn it.
No, because cops get killed.
We get a Fantasy State Highway Patrol.
Jesus, Mark. What the hell, man?
I'm just talking about Velkin. You know. for
Oh.
being murdered.
Yeah. Yeah, because he had it coming. Raise his dick. Anyway.
Just saying.
All right. So you guys actually did choose the path that has a little more civilization. And when I say civilization, like I said, these are like family farms and huts that are kind of on the path. So not really towns, just kind of a couple houses here and there.
Okay.
Yeah, according to Deanna, we're in the wilderness now.
the
She's like, there's
boondocks.
nothing for miles, and you guys are like, there's a house right there. She's like I said, nothing for miles.
I'm beginning to wonder why Deanna's even here.
The boonies. Prove herself to her family, you know, blah blah blah. She's there to look important and do important things.
I'm
Make
here
sure-
on behalf of the bank. Thank you very much.
Make sure you guys don't spend money.
My job. It's my job to make sure you do your job.
She's in an executive role. So anyway, what were you saying? Don't spend money.
Okay. Oh no, I was just memeing. Like it's nothing pertinent. But
Okay.
yeah.
Wait, this was supposed to be the meme game, right?
No.
This was the meme campaign?
No.
How we
No.
made that?
No, we were joking about that.
Where's my dwarven attack helicopter?
Mark, did you? Oh God.
Dang it.
Mark, come on.
Man.
Please give me 5 minutes. I just want to immerse myself in a nice fantasy realm for
Okay,
5
let me go
minutes.
put the baby in bed.
I just need
And
5 minutes.
We will immerse for 5 minutes. Actually, it'll probably take me 5 minutes to go. Immerse yourself.
God damn it.
God.
All right. So you guys are traveling down this path. You're making decent pace. You know it to be about a day's journey to the pass's interest. The pass's entrant. And you find it eerily quiet, actually, along the path. I mean, it's not... give me perception rolls.
Oh, I would love to. Okay. 19.
Okay.
I rolled a 4.
Okay. That would make sense too. I mean, I'll also let you take nature if it's higher. I don't think any of you really are wisdom based. Well, no, but that in that aspect. But if it is, I'll let you.
I've got a +2, but I only have saving in insight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is not higher.
Yeah, I didn't figure, but if for some reason it was, so
Ma'am, can you not eat my dice, please? Go away, please.
I mean,
Hello.
if you want to make a perception roll, you can.
I do.
Okay.
What am I percepting?
Well, make the roll and I'll tell you. All you know right now is it's quiet.
Too quiet.
That, my friends, is...
And I'll let you take perception or nature, whichever is better.
God, that's my D20. That's the important one. Haru, don't eat my dice.
That was my perception. 21.
Okay. So both Auron and Seamus would note they've been traveling for a fair amount of time. You're probably past lunch at this point. Like, you know, sun's still high in the sky, but you've been on the path for a while. You passed by a couple of the smaller like farms and huts, and you didn't really notice anybody working. You didn't really notice any movement. And the farther you get, the quieter the countryside is. Eventually, you notice like you're not even hearing birds or like the natural sounds. Like the world's getting quieter and quieter the closer you go.
Oh, that's fine.
But everything looks fine. Like it's not like decrepit. It's not like spooky or anything. It's just eerily quiet. Like the background noise that you're expecting to be there is not.
Mm-hmm. That is an upset baby. That case, well, let's put on a brave face and keep on trucking. This is what we're here for.
Okay. You continue to move on, and you reach the last little bit of Silver March's countryside that you know. So the last little town, and you're actually greeted on the last little send off. You were greeted by a Let me check my notes.
You could do that. You can check notes.
You were greeted by a human woman, probably late teens, early 20s, and
Okay.
she kind of waves you down off the path and is stating, "You must be the expedition. Oh, it is great that you're here. By this point, I know that you're probably trying to make some time, but let me provide you with brief lunch." And she pulls out like a couple sack lunches, basically. You know, not trying to take up your time, but trying to give her cause to the kingdom. And so she provides you and outfits you with lunch, a little bit of rest, some water, basic needs for that leg of the journey. And she says, uh, as you continue to go, the path basically ends here because this is the furthest out that it's been. But if you travel about another 5 miles that way, pointing further west, you'll hit the mountain range, and the pass is about a mile north of that. And you'll hit the pass. Can't really miss it. It's a very large pass, but so but from here on the path is not as carved out. So just be careful and be aware of your surroundings.
Yes. Your service to the kingdom is noted. I will be certain to make your name known for your deeds to aid this expedition. All right, yeah, let's gulp down these sandos and hit the road. I want to get to this pass so we can get to the tails.
Okay. All right. Everybody give me a survival check.
Sick. You know, I probably should have took proficiency in that given how much we're going to be doing that, but oh well.
You know, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see how many times you guys get lost.
11 plus 2.
I rolled a 6.
I rolled a 13. I really like the idea of, like, the facade of Diana, like, crumbling immediately, and she becomes, like, Vespa from Spaceballs.
Hey, Isaac, help me remember something.
Okay.
Just going forward. I take all wisdom. Let's see here. What is it?
I got a 5.
Wisdom saving throws for me and for my targets are at disadvantage.
Right.
Just always. But,
Wait, why? As a cleric?
Yeah. So Diana kind of gets out. She's like, she's very clearly has no idea where they are, and she kind of nods her head forward very quickly and makes this kind of weird sound, and then just climbs back into the buggy and goes back to sleep.
Okay. So I've got a drunk, not Irishman, and a possessed lady. Does that mean I have to re-roll my my survival?
No, this isn't a save. This is just a straight check. So
It's 13.
Yeah, think almost like a tick, Tyler. It's not like a crazy sound. It's like a woo, like
Yikes.
yeah.
Yeah, you're like you go inside and you just we open up your luggage. It's like that's my industrial strength hair dryer, and I can't live without it. Anyway, I'm sorry. I just really like Spaceballs.
No, you're fine. So, as you're traveling, most of the Silver Marches land, it's very lush and overgrown. Lots of trees, lots actually a lot of the farmland are actually orchards. So, you make the rest of this first day's journey before making it to the pass, and once you You get there about nightfall, and you find the entrance to the pass, and it's miles wide, like it's huge. But as you get to it, the sky just opens up. You're through the trees, and you see the very first true like star-filled sky that you've probably seen in your entire life. Like you've never seen this much sky in your entire life. Uh, Basically, think the title card.
Yay! I made that.
Yeah. So, like I said, it is nightfall. So you could decide if you want to make camp before entering into the unknown, or you could push through. But you guys, you lost a little bit of time trying to explore, and that's why you hit it a little bit later than expected.
Mm-hmm.
But still make enough time that you're hitting a pretty good stopping point before you've gone through all explored territory, and now you're hitting the unknown, basically.
Okay.
Tiana, who's essentially done nothing this whole time, is gonna kind of slink out of the back of the carriage she's in and just take a real big yawn and stretch, and then walk over to Grigori and be like, I'm tired. It's time to set up camp. Lizard Boy, will you take first watch and let me get some rest?
You will address me as Your Highness, Your Majesty, Prince Auron Grigori, the 18th of the Silver Marches. And yes,
she glares at him and she goes, I will address you. However, I feel that I want to address you. It gets very, very loud and almost like enigmatic.
gosh. Yeah, he's gonna stand up at the top of being over 6.5 feet tall, and he's just gonna tower over her. And he's just gonna like lower his voice a little bit, and he's gonna be like, mind your tongue, witch. You are very lucky that your bank holds such influence in the kingdom. Had it my way, you would be back home. You'd be far away from this errand. We will rest.
She kind of
Good.
She snaps to kind of a demure. It's a very like sudden from like almost like frantic to like demure attitude. She goes, if you had your way. But it's been a long time since any ruler of this kingdom, and she puts it in air quotes, has had any say in what goes on. But do continue. That's cute. And she's gonna walk away and go find her spot, lay down for the night.
Isaac, are you
What's
here?
up? Yeah, what's up?
So rolled a nat 20 survival to set up camp.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say like,
yeah.
Yeah,
this is all going on.
we were going to like set up camp anyway. That was totally on. Also, I really are you acting out like some kind of like revenge fantasy here? Do you want to talk about it, Josh? Like, did someone hurt you? Did you get like hurt by? Did you get hurt by a heather?
No, just wait. Just wait. It's gonna get intense, dude.
Oh man, I'm very proud of you because like I flashed back to like all the bitchy 16-year-olds I went to school with for a second. Like like I actively recalled one person who I still hate to this day, even though I haven't talked to her in 6 years. Oh man, that was A fucking plus. Well done. If I were DMing, you would have inspiration right now. Yeah, let's set up camp.
Okay.
Isaac, I set out my 3 bear traps.
Why am I not fucking surprised? Okay.
Yeah, of course. He's got to have a bear in there somewhere.
Yeah.
They're like barrier security.
Boo.
Put them around the perimeter.
Boo.
Can I give you desperation?
Yeah, sure. I'll take advantage.
Negative inspiration. That is totally a thing. The next time you would get inspiration, you don't get it.
That's fine. But yeah, I set them up with little bags of gold on them, tied to a rope that's tied to one half of the trap. So if the trap is sprung, it jiggles the gold.
Okay.
It's a waste of money, but okay.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's not my gold. I got off the caravan.
Oh my god.
I don't have any money.
All right. So as you guys are doing this, are you all just going to take the rest? Are you setting up watch? How are you going through the night?
I feel like we should rotate watch. That's the normal go of things, I guess.
I pass out.
For the sake of this party, since it doesn't really work out math-wise, because long rest 8 hours and you guys can only really do 2 hours of
Yeah.
light activity, I'm going to alter it and I'm going to make 3 hours of light activity.
Yeah, and plus we also have like other people on the caravan with us who could they don't have to be martially minded to keep watch.
Yeah, but I'm going to throw it that way. I mean, I might be a little sterner, like, if you use that mechanic to, like, for instance, if you're a wizard trying to learn spells, I might be a little more strict on it.
Right.
But if it's just, like, role play, like watch keeping or whatever, like, I'm cool with that.
No,
I just sleep through the entire night.
No, Isaac, this is the one thing that matters to me in the entire campaign is the integrity of the rest rules in D&D. Yeah, no, that's fine with me.
Wow. Weird hill to die on, but okay.
I draw my line in the stand with homebrews on long rest.
My God, if you do not enforce mandatory encumbrance rules. Anyway, yeah, Auron's gonna take first watch because obviously Diana and Seamus won't.
Seamus is already asleep.
Yeah, he'll be waking up shortly.
No, he won't. You're not supposed to wake a drunk Irishman.
Is the entire... Did you just make a character for the express purpose of making that joke?
Maybe.
I'm going to recruit someone, you will be deposed, sir. We're going to recruit,
They're going to recruit the D&D equivalent of, the characters in Pokemon that keep Brock from hitting on women.
Really, though? we'll have a fifth member of the group, but they won't even play. They're just, there to slap you whenever you do something. Anyway.
Oh,
yeah, first watch, Auron. Let's go.
Okay. Give me that. Well, are you doing anything during watch or just traditional watch stuff?
Prayer, private little prayers to Bahamut, I guess. But besides that, not really.
Okay. Give me a perception roll.
Okay, that's a 12 plus a 2, so 14.
Okay. It's a pretty quiet bit of your watch. Some cloud cover is coming in a little bit, but you still have a pretty open sky. It's pretty fleeting, kind of stratus clouds. Still more sky than you've ever seen, more stars. But you just notice that there is a wind coming in. Other than that, it's pretty quiet.
All right. Well, since the drunk Irishman is completely useless, after his watch is up, he will bug Diana for second watch.
Okay. Diana is gonna very begrudgingly agree. But Diana's never been on watch before, so she's gonna spend the whole time basically sitting on the back of the carriage and using her arcane focus to just kind of say some prayers to her god and do her own kind of bidding. She seems very very focused on something.
She files her nails for 3 hours.
Yeah, she gets up and paces every once in a while. She can't sit still. She seems very frustrated.
Okay. Give me your perception rolls at disadvantage then.
May I just point out that the king chose the two absolute worst people to accompany his youngest son into the depths of the unknown.
I still got an 18.
With disadvantage?
Damn, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, solid. All right. You hear some rustling over in one of the carts.
Oh, fuck.
She'll go check out and go see what it is.
Okay. How are you approaching?
I guess I'll draw my mace and approach as silently as I possibly can, I guess.
Okay. You doing that actual stealthing or just kind of behind the scenes?
Just, yeah, quiet, I guess.
Okay, because I
Not
was like,
like
it's an actual...
run in and throw open the thing, but like...
Okay, because I was like, if it's an actual stealth roll, it's going to be a lot of fun for you guys, because 2 of you are wearing armor that you get disadvantage at stealth rolls, and you have a rogue, so
Yeah,
one of you is
baby.
really... And the other 2 are terrible at it.
Yeah.
Alright, so as you get a little bit closer, do you have any light source on you, like a torch, anything that would indicate that?
No.
Okay.
Not right now.
As you get a little closer, you do see a figure kind of rustling through one of the carts. The closer you get, though, they seem to notice you and look up and kind of crouch back behind one of the wheels.
Let's see here. Give me just a second. All right. I'm going to cast light as a cantrip.
Okay. What are you casting it on?
I will cast it on my mace. So my mace is lit up like a torch.
Okay. So, you light it. You're probably a good 50 feet away from them at this point. So you have enough visibility that you can make out that there is somebody there, and they are hiding. They seemingly seem to think you don't know where they are, but they are aware that you have noticed them.
Okay. I'm going to look at them and say, "You will come out now and face me, or you will face the wrath of Diana Nordstrom, head of the bank."
Okay. And the figure comes out. He is hooded in all black. He comes out, hands up, like he knows he's been caught. There's no point in running. And he comes out and he says, I mean you no harm. Please, just hear me out.
State your name and your purpose before I end your miserable life.
My name is Xander. I am a countryman. I don't have any alliance to any kingdom. No crown. I'm bound to my own laws and my own rules. I'm merely just trying to make my life, where I can. Food and resources have been a little scarce. I'm just trying to gather my strength before entering this expanse.
Well, any man worth his salt in the wilderness should be able to survive on his own. I don't see any reason why we should help you. You need to leave the things that you've decided to so graciously abscond with from our camp, and then go before we decide to take matters into our own hands.
I mean, that's fine. I'll make something work. But does it not bother you that in this vast wilderness that there's no animals, no creatures to hunt, no resources to gather? This part of the kingdom was lush, and while it maintains the visage, we still struggle. Like us wilderness folk, like this used to be easy living, creature to hunt and resources to gather. There was no need for us to pick off, strangers and explorers. Does that not concern you in the least bit?
She kind of chuckles and she goes, "Of course it doesn't. Someone like myself wouldn't be bothered by something as trivial as some lowly peasants who decide to live in the woods. Now, be gone before I deal with you."
Okay. And he drops what he has, and he puts back what he has into the cart, and it's one of the more open sections, so it's not like he's getting back in the cart. It is very open. Give me one last perception.
It's a 9.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. It's not really that consequential. You notice that as he's leaving, he did maintain a single apple in his sleeve.
I'm going to cast. I'm going to cast Sacred Flame at him.
Jesus. Okay, go ahead.
Let's see here. The target must succeed on a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. And that is. Oh God. It's in that one.
Oh. So he's going to take 1d8 radiant damage. So he's going to take 7 damage.
Okay.
And she just kind of zaps him in the back as he's leaving and knocks him to his feet. And she's going to stand over him and say, I said, leave.
And he Flush pulls out the apple, hands it back to you, gets back to his feet as quickly as possible, which, given the fact that he just took a bunch of radiant flame damage, that, you know, I mean, you look at this boy, and he's maybe 14. Like, you're lucky you didn't just kill him outright. And he, you know, hands it off, and he just kind of limp runs away.
Jesus. And no one wakes up for this. That's the best part.
Yep.
Okay. And that is your watch.
Cool. I'm gonna go wake up Seamus at this point. He's had plenty of rest, and as he's waking up, I'm going to look at him and be like, be wary of thieves. I've already caught one myself. And then just kind of go back to bed.
If we can even wake him. Did he leave us again? Ark, you there, buddy? Yeah, I think we
Never mind. I will wake up one of the cartographers.
Yeah, make them earn their keep.
Yeah. Okay. And okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so he makes it. You make it through. Morning comes through, and you guys. I assume you're all trying to be up close to sunrise, getting an early start, maybe a little before. I mean, if not, whatever. You do you, man. But
you know,
morning comes.
Sunrise.
The cartographer's watch is pretty quiet too. I mean, you're not going to know obviously because you're not one of them, but you're not alerted to anything.
Got it. Yeah, no, sunrise sounds good. Haru, can you?
Yeah, Deanna wakes up and kind of takes her sweet time getting ready.
Josh, let me just like state outright before we really get into it eventually. I don't like to be too authoritative with my characters because that's not conducive to having fun with D&D sometimes. But just forcefully taking the party leader role is not cool, and that's not what I want to try to do. But she's we're on a serious mission here, so I just want to warn you ahead of time.
She looks at Grigori and just kind of rolls her eyes and then continues at the same pace.
Cool. That was not in character, but fine.
It was now.
No, he would not be the little twiddling his thumbs. If you don't mind me saying, no, he'd be like, get the fuck up. All right. I mean, yeah. The sun is shining. The entirety of Starfall Pass is above us. Let's head on in, boys. Let's get these tales started.
All right. And you guys have now chosen you guys have now chosen what's important to you, and the Kingdom Hearts logo pops up.
Oh, god fucking damn it.
Actually, you're waking up, and you find that you're on a horse-drawn cart, and...
No.
Deanna
it's Skyrim, guys.
Deanna will let Auron know what happened during the night, that there was a thief, and she uses the term "I dealt with him" when discussing how she handled it.
He's actually kind of cool with that. To the point where maybe I should put my alignment to lawful neutral. But anyway, no, he's like, you did well and you protected our charges. For what it's worth, I thank you. Now let's begin the expedition in proper.
Okay. So, I mean, you guys are kind of as you're looking down this pass. You actually, this is the first real good look you've gotten at it, because when you got there, it was nightfall. Pretty much all the light you were getting was moonlight and stars.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're looking down, uh, the grass and the fauna just gradually turn into twisting, like, smaller streams, because it is a couple miles wide, but it is still very carved out because you have a very, like, distinct vision. Like, imagine kind of like the vibe from, I mean, this is gonna sound really goofy, but I'm gonna go with it. Kind of like the vibe in, like, the canyon from the Goofy movie with the car, just minus the water. Like, it's very, like, high walls in this pass, but it's very wide, very straight shot. You can see miles and miles, like,
Grand Canyon-esque.
Yeah, very Grand Canyon-esque. But there's still some fauna, like, you do have some grass and some trees and stuff, but it's, for the most part, it's very open, very carved out. But as you're looking through as well, you also notice bits and pieces of, scorch marks and large rocks, and basically the aftermath of the meteor shower. And you see that littered throughout, and it's kind of concerning as to why because there are a lot. Like, it is there, and why it's such a targeted location with the amounts that it is. Because, I mean, it's almost like lines were carved out, like, predestined.
Mm-hmm.
With these craters and such, are we, like, walking past any of them, or have we not reached any yet?
You're literally, like, you guys basically are at the point where you could have turned back and been back on, like, your kingdom land. Like, you guys are just hitting the entrance to the canyon.
Okay.
Or the path.
So, Auron will say, these strange impact craters, these meteors that fell, they may have some sort of interesting composition. If these lines indicate any will or mind to these starfalls beyond just simple will of nature, perhaps the composition of such craters will lend us an idea to what that may be. Perhaps we'll find some sort of new metal that the architects or the whatever the dwarves were, the anthropologists, were they?
They're rock people. They're
cool.
Dwarves. They know
Perhaps,
rock.
yeah. Perhaps the dwarves will be able to examine them and see anything that may come up.
Deanna's gonna think about it and go, well, new compositions and minerals would be helpful and quite lucrative on the correct market. Yes, I think that for the betterment of the party, we should search this.
Yeah, let's look at some rocks. So, let's scoot the caravan on over to the first reachable crater or, like, deposit of any kind of weird mineral we can find, I guess.
Yeah, no, and they're scattered pretty plentifully, so it doesn't take you long at all to hit it.
And I imagine there's like a logic to their. You said they like their. There's a logic to how they fell.
Yeah, no, it is very. I mean, it is almost unnatural. Like, you could almost, if you had a bird's eye view, you could probably see a pattern on it. Is what it seems like.
Right. Okay.
But okay, so you approach the first crater, and it's a large. I mean, there's still scorch marks. It's still fresh, and there are a couple different. There's a large meteor, a couple other smaller broken off stones, some piles, and the outer shell seems to be like typical space debris, various rocks, probably, that you wouldn't know what that is, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some like a also to some parts of it, like another mineral within the meteor that is drawing your attention.
Well, I do have a war pick as my main weapon, and it is magic. So I'll look back at the other dwarves and like kind of raise my pick, like eh.
And they give you the thumbs up, like, "Hey, they're rocks. Crush it."
Oh yeah, let's take the pick to the rock and like try to split this bad boy open.
Right, give me an attack roll on it.
Okay, sick. That was a 19 plus. Oh god, whatever my plus is with the war pig. Plus 9. So yeah, it's 28.
All right, yeah, no, that'll definitely hit. Mostly arbitrary, but give me a damage roll just so I know how big a chunk you get.
Okay. 1d8 plus 6. So that's a 4 plus, so 10 total.
Okay. And I guess I'll let you flavor it a little bit. When you go at this, are you trying to get like a large chunk? Are you trying to like scrap off something? Are you wanting like breaking it up to where it's several piles? Like what is your goal and how you're trying to break off it?
No. Auron is going to basically hit the largest seam he can find and just try to split that bad boy in half like a geode.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's about. I mean the. Okay, I guess I should have been a little more clear. Sorry. The big one is like there are several there, so you could do that. But I do apologize on this. There's
cool.
one that is probably like the size. The biggest one is probably about the size of one of your carts. But there are some smaller other debris like basketball size, softball size that have kind of broken off of that. You could easily split one of those.
Yeah. I want one that I can split in half.
Okay, yeah. With what you got, you could one of the ones that's more basketball size. You could easily split it open. And as you split it open, you do see that the outer shell is entirely that, like the rock base, a little more just earthy, and inside it's basically all that pulsating blue stone. And as you split it, there actually is a blue liquid that kind of oozes out, and the pulsating light just kind of dies off as the ooze exits.
Oh, they're eggs. Oh god, did you just? Oh man.
No, it's not like a living. Sorry, it's not like a living ooze. It's kind of it's almost like a gel, like kind of like an ectoplasm.
Okay.
Gel.
Listen, I'm used to like my IRL DM like is constantly like doing like crazy ass twists like that. Like surprise, they're suddenly aliens. Okay.
It is very Terran in nature. Like it's not something that you would anticipate being like a living life form. It's like just kind of like an earthy, like I said, kind of like an ooze or an ectoplasm.
Okay.
No signs of life.
Okay, I can handle that. So you said the glow dies off as we do this.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, Auron's gonna. Good.
And the pulse is very much like a vroom, vroom, vroom. Like it's just a slow pulse in light, and that kind of dies off as the gel ooze, whatever you want to call it, kind of seeks out.
Yeah. No. Let's. Auron will go ahead and hand that off to the to one of the dwarves that are one of the rock guys. You know.
Okay. Do you wear gloves?
Auron wears like chainmail gloves.
Nothing happens, but as the dwarf comes into contact with it, you see like full vision style, like his eyes just glazed over completely white.
Oh, that's probably good. That's probably fine.
And this goes on for about 30 seconds or so, and you see the color come back to his face, and his eyes kind of blink back in, and he's a little shook, like he's gonna take a minute.
Yeah. So does he does he drop it, or like is he still holding it?
He is still holding it. Like it's very much almost like a paralysis when he did it too. Like he just like stiffened up, eyes gloss over, color lost from face.
Got it. Okay. Well, Auron's going to go ahead.
Yeah, Deanna's curious. She's gonna try to question him and see if he can describe what just happened to him.
To be honest, I'm not quite sure what I saw. Creatures that I've never seen, seemingly just worshipping an unknown force. Not even an entity, a presence. And then I found myself on this meteor itself, almost like I was steering into this canyon.
I'm sure that's perfectly well and good, and that there's something.
And you can tell.
Yeah, go ahead.
And you can tell, just talking to him, you can tell like he doesn't even know how to describe what just happened. Like he's not sure what he saw, and he's like struggling to put it into words. Like the words to describe what actually happened don't seemingly exist in this small world.
Yeah, Deanna's just gonna brush it off and tell them to collect some as a she's gonna look at them and be like, collect some of the rock as a sample. We'll find out its value later. We must be off.
All of the dwarves kind of look at you, and they just kind of like give the not touching that.
You saw what happened as well as I. The man's hands were not covered. Wear some sort of protective glove on your hand and take a sample for later.
The other dwarf, not the one that touched it, but the other one, reluctantly, like, I mean, he grabs like a burlap bag out of the cart, just kind of like Steve Irwin like snake wrangled rock into it and feels it up.
All right, sick. We got ourselves a freaky ghost rock, and there's plenty to be had in this entire pass. So I mean, we'll if we need to tempt another space vision, then yeah, we can do that.
Yep.
All right. So let me think here. So, what? I guess since we have our directive to go and, like, you know, find out more shit in, like, the general area for the cartographers and everything, should we, like, is the idea of, like, establishing a base camp a la, like, Monster Hunter out of the question?
I mean, I guess not. I don't know that I would logically recommend it where you're at, just because.
Well, I mean,
it's very much.
Not right here.
No, I'm just trying to. For right now, the pass seems to be a very like straight shot. Like eventually, yeah, no, that might be something worthwhile, but the time being, like if you do that, it's gonna be a lot of back and forth.
Okay. Well, unless Seamus or Diana have anything else, I say we press on. Auron is totally gonna touch one of those rocks later.
Gianna is fine. She's seems very set on getting back on the road and getting back on the.
Okay.
And I think we still have a lost mark to the newborn.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to pace it a little bit.
Oh no, he's here. Hello. Okay. Hey, buddy.
I've been here. I've just been quiet.
It's okay.
Cool. No worries. I'm just making sure you get pertinent information. You're good.
Right. And that's why we record this shit.
But all right. So it takes you a little longer than expected to kind of gather everybody together and get back on the road, just because to the cartographers and everybody else that have never really, like, they're very much in their own element. Like something like this, it shook them. So it's taking, like, they're not in a hurry to get on the road. They're They're still trying to collect themselves.
It's only a nice, good omen to start off the expedition.
Right. So they gather themselves together. It takes a little longer than usual. So you guys, I would say, you probably lose like another hour with that. But you get back on the road. It's pretty silent from the party, or okay, the non-party party.
The entourage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't know what happened. They don't know that they could even discuss it. They're very shook by it, and especially something like this starting off a trip into the unknown anyway. It doesn't inspire much confidence.
Oh, we Star Trek up in this bitch now.
But so you you do get going though, and as you get going, you probably do a good chunk of traveling forward, gathering up more land that's been recorded to the map, and it is based on your perception. So you don't have to like go and like touch everything to add it to the map. It's very much what you see is what you get on the map, and you guys have a copy of the map, so you're able to kind of see how it goes.
Right. Is it like a is the fact that all three of us are witnessing it like make it clearer, or is it just like is it pretty much the same if only one person does it?
You don't know.
Fair enough.
Seemingly, the map seems to be fairly clear to what you perceive.
Okay. I can deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're marching.
Okay. So you march on a little bit more, and
yeah, this is like anxiety inducing. It's like playing Darkest Dungeon.
Trying to think. I'm trying to think timeline here.
How's everyone doing on time right now?
Josh, what you think?
I'm okay for a little bit more.
Like you know me, I'm good to go till like 2 a.m. for God's sakes.
Yeah, Wednesday is my late day, so.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that, but I could probably do like 10:30 or so.
Okay. Yeah, we'll probably hit a fairly solid stopping point around that time anyway. So.
Okay, sick. That works out perfect. If that's cool with Mark. Methinks he doth not protest enough.
All right. So as you venture forward, you gather through, and you go. I would say probably about. I'm trying to just heads up. Isaac in real life is very distantly challenged. Like I could be like, hey, that looks like it's 2 miles looking at it, and it'll be like, no, that's actually like 10 miles.
Dude,
so a lot of the distances I give you are going to be a little arbitrary.
I literally get lost on the street that I live on. It's fine.
So you travel for most of the day. We'll go that way. I'm not going to give too much distance. You travel for most of the day.
Got it.
And as you're going through, the crew is starting to get more and more like it's a quiet enough day. So the crew is starting to regather, and it's they're gaining their composure. Everything seems pretty natural. Those of you that perceived, and even now that Diana, is it Diana or Diana? How's it pronounced again?
I'm pretty sure we're going with Diana, huh?
It's Diana.
Sweet.
Diana, okay. So even Diana, after being pointed out by the thief, you guys are noticing that you've gone almost 2 days now, and you haven't seen any sign of life, other than like some plants here and there. But as far as like creatures, you haven't seen anything.
I mean, it's an incredibly foreign like substance, so I don't suppose it would be possible to to Arcana the rocks at all?
I'll let you. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you wouldn't be able to know what it is, but you would definitely be able to sense traces of magic if it was. So that's fair.
You know what? I'll go ahead if we're like at a decent stopping point, like as far as expedition goes. Auron's gonna go ahead and bite the bullet and like take his glove off and touch it.
Okay.
Just to like see firsthand what this is all about. Maybe he of strong will and royal blood. Blah 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 blah. Bougie. Let's touch that rock.
Okay. Okay. So you same thing. Stiffen up, eyes glaze over. You lose color in your skin, like you and you're in it. And what you see are creatures very very foreign to you, very new. Well, I mean, you would know using your divine sense that these are definitely of ill intent, possibly.
Yes, my divine sense that I totally didn't just remember that I had. Got it. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not saying you have to use it.
No. I'm very glad you just said that though, because I completely forgot divine sense was a thing.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's what happens. Honestly, you guys are all playing classes that I know pretty well, so
that's good.
For me, it's just kind of like, great, yes, I don't have to deal with mystery like skills. Like I know these classes, so
yeah. Okay, cool. I'm down with it. Yay, paladin.
Yeah. And so you're able to detect, well, not detect, but your knowledge lets you know that these creatures it's an assortment of undead, just so a lot of bad dudes. But they are still very foreign to your world. You don't recognize any of what they are or what they're capable of, but you almost innately detect their intention, if that makes sense.
Okay, how would Auron describe the intention then?
It's I mean, I would say it's very much they want some bad things. They want death, destruction. They're out to do some undead and demonic shit.
Well, as soon as Auron snaps out of it,
you got some more coming. You got some more coming.
Okay.
And you see these. It's very. They're in a very rocky terrain, almost cavernous, possibly underground. That's still well lit, so I mean, you don't. It could very well be like non-natural light, though. But so something either rocky, possibly subterranean, but it doesn't seem to be otherworldly.
Okay.
And you see them basically doing all sorts of worship and ceremony, which to an unknown force. Like you do get the sense that it is with intention, all of this worship and ceremony. And then you kind of flash onto, just like the dwarf said, onto the meteor, and it's an odd sensation. You do feel that you're in control, but it's not like you're a passenger. It almost just feel like you have the control, but you're not present with it. As it hits the impact into the spot in which the rock that you did, you snap back into right back into consciousness.
Well, Auron will make it known now that this just became less of a border settling campaign and one more of protecting the kingdom at large. If we're dealing with some kind of I really need to work a voice out for this dude so it's clear that it's Auron speaking, not Tyler. Auron will say, "It is just as our friend has said, that there is some ill intent within these stones, and being as we are the first to arrive here, to approach here, it is our duty to find out just what they are. For all we know, some ill intent could be festering in this very pass, and if it is within our power to save innocent lives in the Silver Marches, then it must be done. Deanna, has Deanna, back to out of character, has Deanna made, like, the nature of her cleric abilities known? Like, is it very obvious that she worships a god of death?
No.
Okay. In that case, then it would be metagaming to assume so he's not gonna bring up anything deathy to this, to the thing, but, back to Auron, he will say, some creature, or possibly creatures of ill intent, wish us harm. From some otherworldly undead force, they wish to see us demolished, for lack of a better term. And if we are in position to stop this, to prevent it from happening, then we must do so. It is our right, our responsibility to do so.
Deanna kind of rolls her eyes and goes, "You're going off of all of this because a magic stone told you this. Listen, I'm here for one purpose and one purpose only. To make sure that my bank makes its money back on the investment they made in your kingdom. Now, I will continue on this quest, as will everyone else.
By all means.
And
go ahead.
When we are and if they cross me, then we shall deal with them. But until then, I have a goal in mind, and I will see it through.
I will remind you that as long as the kingdom does not stand, neither shall the bank. I happily invite you to touch the stone yourself. Experience what I have, but I cannot force you to do so. As you say, we should continue on.
No peasants touch that.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? What did you say?
She goes, ew, no peasants touch that.
Oh man, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a lot of fun. This is good party dynamic. This is great. You better have some kind of tragic ass backstory if you don't want to pick to the face. Right.
As this is going on, this whole conversation, Deanna's gonna start breathing very heavily, and kind of turn around and clamp her mouth shut, and just kind of let out like a little snicker that kind of seems to start bubbling up into something a little bit more, and she's gonna kind of like skirt off into kind of a less populated section of the caravan. She just kind of starts like cackling.
Is she having an anxiety attack? Oh god, man, this is gonna be neat. All right, well, we touched the rock. We got a first-hand account of that. Let's scoot.
All right.
We may want to stop. I believe we've lost Mark.
Oh yeah.
Completely.
Yeah. Is it a good spot to stop?
Actually, yeah, no. There's one more point, but it's about as good of a stopping point as I can feel.
Yeah, I feel like getting a glimpse into the intense alien rock is probably a solid spot.
Yeah, no, like I'm cool with it.
All right, cool. All right, well, I hope we yeah, that was nice. I hope we get some combat next time. But yeah, that was dope.
You guys missed the one encounter that there was. So
to be fair, I did get combat.
Yeah. You did get to cast Sacred Flame on a teenager.
Yeah, and now thinking back on it, she should have just murdered him. That's much more in character.
Honestly, I was expecting you to. I was like, when you got second watch, I was like, oh boy.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, Auron would have conscripted him, like, straight up. I'm so excited, like, to ponder what Oath of Conquest means, because, like, I'm playing him too nice for what his oath is.
I can't wait for Tyler to learn the secrets.
Oh yeah, I can tell you have some secrets in mind.
So clear.
I'm keeping Auron lawful good for now, but there's some potential for like swapping over depending on how the quest goes.
I mean, you know my thoughts on the alignment system.
I know. It's just a personal thing, you know.
I know. Play a character. That's my thought. So whatever works, I don't care.
Hey, it is a tool towards playing a character, but yes, I got you.
I know. I'm just saying.
And I'm trying to not play evil in the sense that Dion is a bad guy as much as it like.
She's just a terrible person. It's fine.
She's just a horrible person.
she is very she reminds me of like Veronica from the Archie comics, except like actively mean. Yes. And I haven't seen Riverdale, so like don't hop on me if that's like something that's Riverdale-y.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah. And
tonight was more so of like a vibe and ambiance session, trying to get the setup.
Yeah, I get it. That is totally establish the setting, establish who we are, and get an idea of we've got
that. And I like to write around my characters rather than this is the story you guys have to fit into it. So I like to see how you guys interact, so I know what to write.
By the way, Josh, I just want to let you know that like before I knew Deanna's name, I did save the pictures of her as Bitch Cleric. So
yeah, the picture that I found was pretty accurate. The only difference is that she wears a ring of scarves around her neck.
Okay.
There's 7 concentric scarves tied together that make up kind of like this chain that she wears around her neck.
That's almost a little. I would almost call that a little bit tacky.
Yeah, it may not be the most fashion forward thing. It has to do with her deity and
right.
It's like her arcane focus. So.
Do we are you borrowing a deity from Forgotten Realms as well? Because I straight up borrowed Bahamut for this.
Yeah, I assume this deity is a borrowed deity.
If you're looking for a god of death, Kelemvor would be good. You actually probably like him a lot. He's a lawful neutral death god, and his symbol is literally a skeletal hand holding a scale, which
I have. I'll just tell you now. I've already picked my deity.
Oh, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, good old tragic backstory.
Hey, his parents are alive though. I told him that was the only requirement.
Yeah, you can't have your dead parents.
Oh yes, no. My dad runs the largest bank in the kingdom, and is and I actually have a twin brother, who I'm in like constant conflict with because he's kind of like the favored child.
Okay. Right. Okay, I like that. I had it listed and I need to write it down, but let's see. Auron has 2 brothers. He's got his eldest brother is Strahz the Second. So very clearly. Where do you want me to put it? Like back of her neck. All right.
Hold the cat. I'll get the medicine.
Okay. Yeah. Oh shush. We're putting medicine on a cat.
Fleas.
Yeah, you had fleas, Haru. You need medicine. Don't you squark at me. This is the fun part about having cats, guys. Alright, get off. Now she's gonna go angrily throw up somewhere. Anyway, so yeah, 2 brothers. Eldest is Strahz the Second, and he is very clearly the crown prince and is being raised as such. And I think it was Vader. I think I borrowed that from my IRL campaign because I reference names all the time. Vaetir. Is the middle son, and I don't really know what he does. I don't really know what they did with the second kids back in the medieval times. I just know they gave the third one to the church. So he's probably like a fighter type, or maybe even like a really powerful mage or something. Maybe he like studies magic a lot.
The second child was usually kept as almost like a backup, right? Like, because if something happens to your firstborn, you have to have somebody to take over the throne so that you don't lose.
That's actually fair. So like I picture Strahz as kind of like almost like an Arthurian, like King Strahz the First, as like almost like an Arthurian like conqueror king who's like a big reason why the Silver Marches is doing well right now. So his three sons are under a lot of pressure to do good as princes. So Strahz the First will be like a barbarian, and then like so would Strahz the Second, and then probably have Vater as a sorcerer type, and then Auron following up as a paladin, a nice little good boy knight paladin of Bahamut.
No, that's I can dig it.
Sweet. I like talking out characterization and stuff like that. Yeah, but
come up with a better name for the bank than the bank. Also,
whatever your last name is. Did you name? You said Nordstrom?
It's Nordstring, yeah.
Nordstring, okay, like... just
PSD.
Yeah, like just playing off a certain company name there, I guess.
Maybe.
it was appreciated. Right, yeah, so, I mean, I like what we've got. Even Seamus, what little we saw of Seamus tonight, was pretty funny. With Fantasy Northern Ireland, which we will have to put a name to. I really like Nireland. Or like Nearland or something. If we call it Nearland, can it just be one giant Nier Automata joke?
That's fair.
No.
Yes.
Try again, dude.
You don't like Nier Automata?
That game made me feel things.
I had a campaign once that just to piss off. Speaking of like Nearland and like changing things like that, I had a campaign once that the DM gave us a wish spell, and just to piss him off, I made the wish that east and west were flipped. So every time like we're going west, I was like, "Oh, you mean actual east?" And he's like,
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh god.
To the point where when he had a map, he literally had to go in and Photoshop the compass, so the E and the W were flipped.
I would just have like a god smite you at that point.
East. I thought you said west.
I want
that was the joke.
For my wish, I want all forks and spoons in the kingdom, in the world, to be replaced entirely with sporks.
Yep.
Yeah, no. Just feel me out on this one, man. Everything is a spork. Oh man, that's good. Well, yeah, I like it.
I love doing stupid wish spells. They're my favorite. Like, there was one time I did a wish spell, and it was all belly buttons were flipped. All ints are outies, and all outies are innies.
Oh, no.
What? Oh, God. I need to... Man, I really need to see, like, Because this wasn't something I participated in, but it was something my DM did, where, like, they had a... there's a magic item. It's called, like, a candle of something, and I can't remember what it is, but it's like a very rare item, a candle of invocation or something like that, and you can use it to cast Gate, which is like a big deal because Gate is a super high level deal, and they use it to decapitate a Tarrasque. Like basically they led a Tarrasque at them in like an arena, and they opened the gate and then closed it as soon as his head was in it, and they just like straight up decapitated him, and the DM was like, I have to give you 366,000 experience now. It was just like, oh, fuck, yeah. Yeah, you do, bitch. And it was like, he was being a good DM about it. He was adhering to yes and, so he didn't say no to it, but it was like, yeah. So, assuming that, like, the aliens that we're totally gonna meet, they're just like, they're all baby Tarrasques and everything, and we're dealing with the Tarrasque Inquisition here, and we're all fucking dead. And this is just Isaac's way of killing all of us.
I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty terrible at combat, so
yeah,
you're probably.
We'll get there when we get there. I'm excited for combat. Go ahead.
I think it's hilarious that Deanna had some really bad rolls today, in like things that are very like, oh, she's never been outside the kingdom, so
no,
she
I literally
knows nothing about survival.
No, yeah, like that's good.
The entire time I was picturing you It was literally you just laying in the back of the cart, like underneath the covered part, no awareness surroundings, just like taking a nap the whole time.
Oh, I'm absolutely,
Basically.
I'm absolutely picturing her as Vespa from Spaceballs. I will say that once again. It's my Virgin alarm. It's programmed to go off before you do. But like, oh god, no, with like the several bags of luggage that are just nothing but like industrial strength hair products and stuff like that, and just
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys haven't even inspected all the carts yet. One of them is just like senseless bullshit that Deanna needs.
that's why it was supposed to be 3 oxen. Oh man, I could talk about this shit all night. I don't know if you guys have anywhere to go, but like, you know, I say that was a nice first session. I'm very excited for more and potential combat because I've never played a paladin in combat before. I have a paladin in my IRL party, but I play a bard warlock, bardlock, hex bard.
We'll see
Dude,
what
if
happens.
people keep rolling ones on their dex saves, then we're set.
What happens? I wanted to do a very unique setting. I didn't want to. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's real easy. It's real easy for me to fall into the you're in this city and like travel and like ends up in a whole lot of like shop and go kind of bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, I started you guys on the Sword Coast for mine. The Sword Coast of the Forgotten Realms, like the most
Right.
Yeah,
No, and it's a lot of fun. Like that's just it. Is I wanted some diversity for us. Like,
Yeah.
and it's different than like literally my in real life party right now. The one that I'm running for them, they're in like a traveling like city, kind of imagine like if Ravnica, but it tried to take over other planes. Like if Ravnica traveled plane to plane, simulated everything. So it's just this huge, ever-growing city. Like I joke around.
Dude, I hope
D&D.
Xander comes back for vengeance.
Oh man, you if you find that like traveling cities are a cool idea, have I told you how cities in Sigil work?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so cool. They operate off of like belief and everything, and it's just so freaking rad. And I'm very excited about that because you guys are probably going to do irreparable damage to the outer planes and everything. Well, the lower planes, I guess. I'm so excited, God. And like, the thing is that with Sigil, there's been that's a good idea.
What?
I thought you were trying to get my attention.
No, I turned it on and I realized it's making a lot of noise. You're still recording.
Oh. Well, anyway, it's not a big deal. We're almost done. You can go ahead. It won't pick it up. The snowball is not very sensitive to outside noise. So yeah. Anyway, we're Sigil as a setting, like for Planescape, has changed a lot over the years since Planescape Torment came out. But I kind of don't like what happened. And honestly, time is a very relative thing out in the lower planes. So I may just like plop you guys in the Planescape Torment era Sigil. Because I mean, you guys have already carved out the Forgotten Realms as it is in your own image anyway. The Forgotten Realms that we play in is forever different now that you guys have basically taken over Baldur's Gate and the entirety of Kalimshan has fallen. Which Kalimshan, by the way, is the most populous nation in the world. So like, whenever the rotation comes back to me and we do Dragon Heist, I may have to make Waterdeep a little different depending on how you guys end the final campaign and everything, with the godly repercussions that are fighting Cyric and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. No,
So,
but that was kind of my thought on like this setting. Was I'm running a big city setting in my real life.
mm-hmm.
We just finished up with Ravnica. We've done Sword Coast. Like I just wanted to do something a little more unique, and we'll see how it plays out.
If there's one thing that D&D doesn't get a lot of, it is aliens.
Yeah, and I'm very excited for the characters in this one. The characters feel much more like we did a much better job making actual characters this time instead of like playable NPCs, kind of. You know?
Like speak for your damn self. I thought I did good with Nax and Neferre, but that's
So I'm not playing a walking meme this time, which feels pretty good.
Okay, okay. I get it. Yeah, that's okay. I liked him. It's just a lot of the characterization got swept up by the fact that we had to stab him. You know,
Yeah.
poor Zalid. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I've had two kind of memey characters.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, Sinros and Zalid were basically Beavis and Butthead for a while.
Hey, but I really like Sinros. I like Sinros and Zalid. They were great. I was
Yeah,
very.
and good God, Luthier, like, is his own special brand of autistic. So, like,
God, I'm really curious how, like, Luthier's characterization has changed now that he's been, like, you know, turned into Edgelord Maximum with the Crimson Maw and everything.
dude, I told you he's completely evil now.
And now he just yells at his mom when she makes him pizza rolls.
Nah, his mom's dead, dude.
Yeah, Raphael is super dead. I'm actually, like, still in the as a matter of fact, I think while Emily's at class tomorrow, I'm gonna try and finish all the narration. But like, it was just my worry that while we were playing, I didn't make the original order storyline, like, clear enough. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping to once and for all establish everything and just make sure. And go ahead.
Yeah, Luthier does hate his parents now. He essentially believes that they abandoned him, and that they did not do enough to try to fight for him.
Dang.
And so that's
intense.
where a very large portion of his anger is coming from.
I'm very
abandoned and kind of left alone.
I'm very glad that Darwin died before it was found out that Luthier was his grandson. Which I think is just even funnier. That his whole team was, I'm looking for my lost grandson or grandchild, whatever, blah blah blah. It's like, I like it. And then Jermong's gonna have a lot of fun in Sigil because there are tieflings everywhere. There are more tieflings than there are humans in Sigil. Like, it's not even funny. That might not be a entirely true statement, but there are a lot of tieflings in Sigil, and besides the fancy clothing, Jermong's gonna fit right in. I'm glad none of you are clerics, because Sigil works kind of weird for clerics in that the Lady of Pain doesn't allow worship or just, like, basically clerics into the city. She flays them alive with impunity, so it's kind of like, it would have been really interesting to have some of you guys be a cleric, but, you know, I'm still fully expecting Ragnar to touch the Lady of Pain's shadow, even though I make it very... I'm going to have it, like, pass over a squirrel or something, just to show you exactly what happened. It's like that green text where it's like, yeah, no, my party saw a squirrel jump into a red magic field and get incinerated instantly. Guess what they did next? Take a wild fucking guess. I'm fully expecting that shit to happen with Ragnar and the Lady of Pain, but, you know, we'll find out when we get there. I want to play all of it right now. Anyway, we've gone on for like 40 minutes past, like, actual Starfall Pass, so maybe we should, like, cut it. Yeah, so thank you guys for playing. Thank you, Mark, if you're listening to this later. Thank you to my Tumblr buddy Kuiper, who's watching, actually. That was like, oh, that's super cool of you. Like, hey, thank you for listening. We're sorry we, like, prattled on about shit that really only matters to us. I'll send you links and shit if you're ever bored and you want to listen to all of our incessant rambling. Yeah, I know how to pronounce Kuiper, yes. Anyway, yes, thank you guys for playing. Thank you, Isaac, for crafting this story and this world for us, and thank you, yeah. We will reconvene. Did you say next Thursday is still good?
Yeah, next week I'm good. It's just it'll be a little more. I'll have Harrison, so it might just be that I'm a little more laid back, but it'll still be good to go.
That's
Like
cool.
his bedtime is at like 7:38, so it'll be fine.
Okay,
Cool.
sick. I'm down. All right, cool. Yeah, then next week we'll do episode 2 of Tales of Starfall Pass. I'm gonna have to workshop a title for this one. I'm thinking something to do with the rocks, or, like, you know, something actually, like, evocative for the first title. We'll workshop it. If you have any ideas, just message me. Is there anything else before I cut it?
I'm good.
No, I think I'm good.
All right, sick. We'll see you guys next week. All right.